All right. Thank you all. This is a difficult case for a lot of reasons. I guess on the enforcement, I would have preferred it had been handled a different way. That is, if it was going to be filed, it should have been clearly known that it was being dropped and that there was nothing left of it almost immediately. It does sound as if there's a problem with sending all of the messages and expenses through our family wizard. And I really think that you'll all need to work on doing that. With respect to the modification, I have no doubt that both Ms. Mitchum and Mr. Hendrix love Gemma. And I offer my condolences to Ms. Mitchum for what you've been through in the last couple of years. I know it's been rough. That said, I don't believe that I have the evidence to support the need to move to Lampasas. I do understand in theory that there's a limited amount of money in the trust, but I can't tell what the trust is and is not being used for. And I can't tell a lot about the income of Mr. Jones and Ms. Mitchum. I do note that the $1,300 a month car note and the $2,000 to $3,000 cats that have been purchased recently provide some evidence of the fact that there appears to be more income than I've heard about, or more assets available than I've heard about. I do believe it's in Gemma's best interest to be close to both of her parents, to live close to both of her parents. I believe that if at all possible, it's in Gemma's best interest to remain in the Lake Travis School District. I understand that it may not be affordable to remain in a $3.5 million house that has $45,000 a year in property taxes, but I didn't hear anything other than testimony to lead me to that conclusion. And as I say, the testimony is tempered by the information about the other expenses. I also find it difficult to believe that there can't be found another less expensive home in the Lake Travis School District. And honestly, in my opinion, it would be in Gemma's best interest to remain there. That said, I know that if I deny the modification, that Ms. Mitchum can move anywhere within Travis County. And that is allowed by the current divorce decree. I am considering whether there's something I can do to encourage the parties to remain close together. That is, if Ms. Mitchum moves more of an X amount of distance away from the current home, whether the burdens of transportation or other burdens might ought to fall disproportionately on Ms. Mitchum. And I kind of believe that they should, but I'm going to give that some thought. At this time, though, I am denying the modification, except I am going to grant the modification with respect to child support and increase it to the maximum. I am going to leave the provision in that allows or that provides that Mr. Hendrix will split the cost of any extracurricular activities, which he agrees to in writing in our family wizard. With respect to camps, I need to look at that language a little bit more. My personal opinion is that summer day camps tend to be a substitute for summer childcare. At least I know in my experience, that's how many of us used summer day camps. And so that summer day camps, as opposed to summer sleepaway camps, should be treated like other childcare expenses. But I also know that Mr. Hendrix should probably have some say in those if he's going to pay for them. So I'm going to give some thought to that provision. I would like Mr. Gilbreth and Ms. Kinsler to give some thought to both of those things as well, and to send me some suggestions on how I can deal with both the distance issue and the issue of summer day camps. I told you that I wish that the enforcement issue had been dealt with differently. That said, I'm going to deny the request for attorney's fees to be paid by opposing side. Each side will pay their own attorney's fees. But I would discourage any additional enforcement actions, especially over relatively small amounts, and especially where there hasn't been the requisite request through our family wizard. I can't say that if it were me or any other judge, that they wouldn't require that attorney's fees be paid next time. All right, let me just say one other thing, and that is what I'm ordering may not be in Ms. Mitchum and Mr. Jones and Thomas's best interest, but I believe it's in Gemma's best interest. And that's what I'm required to look after. I would note that you all have some other interests to balance, and I understand that, but I do not. I have to act in Gemma's best interest. I would tell y'all that I know that you want to raise a strong, smart, emotionally healthy daughter. And she seems like a great kid. And I would encourage you to find a way to co-parent better so that she does see that you all respect one another as parents, because that's the only way she's going to respect both of you as parents. And I want to encourage you all to find a way to work together. I know it's difficult. I don't mean to suggest that it's easy, but I do think it's really, really important for Gemma's overall emotional well-being. All right. Mr. Gilbreth, Ms. Kinsler, when can y'all send me some proposed language for the two issues that I'm requesting?
I have a hearing tomorrow and Thursday, so I would love Friday at the latest, or Friday at the earliest, please.
Well,
Would Friday work for you, Mr. Gilbreth?
Is it okay if we could do Monday? And is it okay, because you said proposed language, could we give you just a short blurb as to why you should or why you shouldn't on changing up any of the, because there's some legal, and it will just be a blurb, but there's some legal arguments on that.
Absolutely. I will tell you that The sooner you can get it to me, the more likely I can get to it right away, and the more likely that it will be fresh in my mind. The longer it takes you all to get it to me, the longer it takes me to get back around to it. And that's just reality. So I will ask that you all try to get it to me by the end of the day Friday, but I will give you till the end of the day Monday if you need it. But it just needs to be something informal. Doesn't need to be anything formal at all. And I would ask that you email it back in response to like one of Ms. Chapella's emails where you're all copied and that you copy each other. All right. Thank you. Y'all are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.